presented by Champion Barbecue Supply, starts now.
Hello everyone, and welcome to week 7 of the Blitz, brought to you by Champion Barbecue Supply. A big week in high school football as teams now focus on the second half of the season and district play, with postseason hopes hanging in the balance. Paladero's coming off their district opener against Wichita Falls Memorial and absolutely dominated them. They now turn their attention to Abilene Wiley, defending district champions, who are here tonight out of Dick Bivens. And it was a great night for football. We're going to pick it up here on the opening drive for Wiley. Jaden Carlinskent, he's back to pass. Then he's going to pull it down and take off, and he heads right for the sticks. Great heads-up play there as he picks up the first down. A little later now in the drive, they're going for it on 4th down. And this one, a modified version of the tush push, but look at that PD line there pushing them back. It would be a turnover on downs. Now after both teams exchange punts, the Dons, they're driving. Deuce Reese going to fake the handoff, rolls out, then fires it to a wide-open Arturo Velasquez, and he'll pick up the first down. Then a few plays later, they're knocking on the door. Raymond Johnson right up the middle and into the end zone. Dons would take the lead. Now on the next PD possession, Reese looking to pass. He's under pressure, just gets the pass off. And check this out, Kyron Brown, while covered, rips that one down. That flag was on the defense. Dons in big territory there. A few plays later, it's 4th and goal as Reese powers in, and PD would lead it by 14. Let's go to the scoreboard. And the Dons would score the go-ahead touchdown with less than a minute to go, and they get the win over Wiley. Now, all right, now we'll head back to last night where Amarillo High and Caprock clashed. And here they come running out, ready to go for some Thursday night lights. We're going to pick it up on the opening drive for Amarillo High. Jude Donovan going to take this one up the middle, and he'd rumble ahead and get this one down inside the 20. Then later in the drive, Jet Lopez going to fake the handoff. Then finds Donovan coming out of the backfield, and he's in for the score as the Sandys would take the lead. On the ensuing drive, Caprock's going for it on 4th down. Juan De La Cruz, he's going to look to pass. He fakes me out with the pump fake, then pulls it down, and he picks up the first down. But then later in the drive, it's 4th down again. And the Rock going for it again. De La Cruz going to fire this one out to Xavier Vargas, and he would fight his way forward for a first down. That drive would end with a field goal. So now it's still 7-3 in the second. And Lopez, he's going to find James Bryant here. A nice little curl route, and he'll pick up a first. Then a few plays later, Donovan going to get the call again, fakes the cut, then he busted outside, and he's in for the score. Let's go ahead and head back to the scoreboard here. As you can see, it was all Amarillo High in that one. Now we'll check in on another game from last night when Dumas battled Randall. And here they are before the game at the opening drive for the Raiders. Kason Benton going to fire this one at the corner of the end zone, dropping it right in to Phoenix Sherwood as the Raiders take the lead. Then on the next Raider possession, they're going for it on 4th down. Drayden Ray, he's just going to plow right ahead, and he picks up the tough first down. A little later now in the drive, they're knocking on the door. Ray takes the snap for the Wildcat, and he fights his way in. That would extend the Raiders' lead. Dumas is threatening now on the ensuing drive. Colton Mills going to fake the handoff. Then he's going to get pulled down by Jevin and Mark Gallegos, but he loses the ball. Jevin scoops it up, and he would take this one all the way back down to the 23-yard line before they finally going to catch up with him and pull him down. But then the next play, they strike quick. We couldn't even get our cameras down there. Benton, he's going to float this one up to the end zone. Brecken Ireland, he'll come running into your screen with the ball in a second as Randall would go up by 3 scores. So now Dumas driving right before the half. Mills hit as he throws, and it's Jevin Gallegos again. This time it's a pick, and this time they won't catch him because he'll take it all the way back for the pick 6. We'll go to the scoreboard, and Randall holds on to win 27-14. All right, now we'll stay in the district and head over to Pampa, where Hereford was in town to take on the Harvesters. We're going to pick it up on the opening drive for Pampa. Jaron Hill, he's under pressure, but he's going to roll out to evade it. Then he's going to pull it down. The kid's got wheels. He's got a whole lot of green in front of him as he cuts it back. And then check this out, going to get close to the sidelines, and he would stay in bounds. That's a touchdown, giving Pampa the lead. On the ensuing drive, Hereford's threatening here. Caleb Ramirez, he's under pressure, but he's going to launch this for the end zone. It's going to be picked off by number 32. Sorry, Mom and Dad, there wasn't a 32 on the roster, but he's going to make a nice return here. But afterwards, Pampa would have to punt. So now Hereford's threatening again on their next possession. Kobe Goodlow, he'll take it right up the gut, and that would tie the game. Then on the next Hereford possession, Goodlow going to get the call again, and he's going to rumble right up the middle into the end zone. Hereford would take the lead. Let's go ahead and check out some scores as we got Hereford with the win there, while Perryton falls to Liberty Cooper. All right, well, that wraps up the first quarter of the Blitz, but we still have a whole lot more to come, including our game of the week. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Blitz. Welcome back to the second quarter of the Blitz, and it's time for our game of the week, brought to you by Aqua One. And for our game of the week, we're going to head south to Canyon, where West Plains is taking on the Eagles. Both teams' first game in district play. It's also the Boss Bowl, so both players on both teams fired up to take home that Hog Trophy. West Plains coming off their first loss of the season. It was an overtime thriller against Liberty Christian, while Canyon's coming off of their bye week and a new head coach. We'll head out to Happy State Bank Stadium.
Game of the week, presented by Aqua One.
That's what they're playing for right there, the Boss Hog. We're going to pick it up now in the first quarter. West Plains with the ball after a Canyon punt. Reed Macon, he's going to rumble on ahead here. He would scamper into the end zone. Or actually, that was to Slade Russell, and then he would get into the end zone. On the ensuing drive, Canyon's going for it on fourth. But that ball would fall out, so it's a turnover on downs. And then after West Plains would punt, Canyon, Brock's Hacker going to find Baylor Schilling along the sideline, who would pick up the first. Then that would lead to a field goal to get the Eagles on the board. So now West Plains with the ball and driving. Macon going to find Caden Hooker, the senior. He's got some wheels. He's going to take off, eluding the defense and sprint to the end zone. They go for two, but they still lead it 13-3. So now late in the second quarter, Canyon gets a score as Austin Turner. He gets across the goal line. That makes it 13-10. We got a ball game. Then just before the half, Macon going to call his own number. He's going to dash this one all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. They would take a 19-10 lead in the half. We'll check the score. And you can see it was West Plains coming out on top, 39-10. So now we'll head back out to Happy State Bank Stadium, where Drew Powell standing by with head coach Adam Cummings.
Yeah, thanks very much. This was definitely a wild game. Lived up to all of the pregame hype. In the billing, the final score 39-10 in favor of West Plains. We're joined now by Adam Cummings. And Coach, you guys scored early, but then it took a little while to get your offense in rhythm again. Were you able to get some more touchdowns?
A credit to Canyon, Coach Lovern. They had a really good game plan. They really kind of played keep away. They just kept their offense on the field. We played a lot of defense tonight. They kept the sticks moving and kept our defense out there and really just kept the ball away from our offense. So a credit to Canyon for a really good game plan and keeping that score close in the first half.
And talk about your defense. It seemed like it was bend a little but never break.
We've been a lot, but I was really proud of our coaches for making some adjustments as the game progressed. Canyon did a great job up front. They've got some big old boys that play physical. Their backs run hard. We knew we were going to have our hands full with that run game, and so I'm really proud of our defense. How they played bend but don't break. Only gave up 10 points. Just proud of their effort.
Coach, talk about enjoying this for about 24 hours, and then you have Pampa, but it's a shortened week. You got them here at home on a Thursday night.
Yeah, I kind of like it that way, honestly. It doesn't give us a whole lot of time to dwell on this. We got to celebrate it tonight and then move on and get ready for Pampa. They've got a really good running back, run a little unorthodox offense that we're not used to seeing, so that'll be another challenge for our defense and another opportunity for offense to go out and showcase some talent. But just really proud of our guys tonight. We didn't play our cleanest game. A lot of errors, a lot of unforced errors. Just discipline things that we've got to get better at if we want to play at a championship level. But I think we're making strides towards that.
Okay, congratulations on the win. Once again, West Plains comes out on top in our game of the week. Reporting from Canyon here at the stadium, where we see the Wolves here are very ecstatic after a big win over Canyon. That's the latest from here. DJ Nellis, send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Drew. They look pretty pumped up there. We'll now go to River Road, who are hosting La Mesa out at Wildcat Stadium. This is the opening drive for the Tornadoes. Daniel Ramos going to dish it out to Jaden Jaramillo. If I could speak tonight, he'll pick up the first down. A few plays later now, Ramos. He's going to take a shot deep to the end zone and drops that one right in the bucket. What a great pass. That's D. Lugo. And they would take the lead. But River Road, they would respond. Broderick McGowan, he's going to keep this one and takes it up the middle, pushing that pile forward. Got some strong legs there, picking up the first down. Then a little later now in the drive, McGowan going to keep it again. And this time he's going to find the edge, and the edge leads to the end zone. That would tie the game. La Mesa now, they're punting on their next possession. That's a bad snap. Almost rolls in the end zone, but they're able to secure it. But River Road's going to pull them down, and they're going to get the ball in great field position, and they would take advantage here as McGowan. He's going to fake out our camera operator, but then he's into the end zone, and the Road would take the lead. We'll check the scoreboard, and you can see it was La Mesa over River Road. That one's still on the fourth. Bushland with the win over Andrews. Got a couple more here for you as Dalhart takes down Denver City. Muleshoe with an overtime win over Roosevelt. Then a few more scores. We have Childress. They take down Friona, and Dimmitt over Tulia. All right, now we're going to head out to Highland Park, where the Hornets were hosting West Texas High. And we're going to pick it up on the opening drive for Highland Park. Josh Marler, he's going to fire this one over the middle, connecting with Israel Arana, and he'll pull it down for a first down. Later in the drive now, they're going for it on fourth down. Marler's under pressure. Somehow he gets the ball away. We didn't even see him, but the ball got off. But then the Comanche's going to get there to stop and get the turnover on downs. So WT High now, they're going on the attack. Carson Bauer, he's going to explode right up the middle, running out of a tackle. And Jets inside, getting this one down inside the 30. And sometimes you got to make a tackle any way you can. A few plays later now, it's a high snap. Cade Winter's able to pull it down, and he's into the end zone. Comanches would take the lead. Then on the next WT High possession, you can see they're going for it on fourth down. And Winters, he's going to keep it again. Check out this great block out in front. That's going to spring him. That's another touchdown here. Let's go ahead and check the scoreboard on that one. And you can see it was all WT High in that one. Well, that concludes the first half of the Blitz. We still have a whole other half to go. Coming up, we'll wrap up 2A games and head out to six-man action as well. And your out-of-state scores. Go anywhere, you're watching the Blitz. Welcome back to the third quarter of the Blitz. And to start off this quarter, we're going to head out to Sunray, who are playing their first home game of the season after that wind damage destroyed their stadium this summer. Nice for the Bobcats to finally get a chance to play out at home. And here's a check presentation from T-Mobile. This was at the half, the $25,000 check. They're still in the running for the big prize. In the first quarter, Lynx with the ball, Brayson Goodhart right up the middle, and Spearman with the lead and the touchdown. So now the Bobcats on the move. Zeke Grajada, he's going to find Dominic Dominguez here. That's going to be a Bobcat first down. But then the ball would come out. That's a fumble. Spearman gets it again. And this time it's Jalen Vasquez. And he's going to take this one all the way to the house for Spearman for another score. So now the Bobcats, they're down 20-0 here late in the first half after the celebration. And Grajada, he's going to find Christian Sauceda. And that's a Sunray touchdown. Let's go ahead and check the scoreboard in this one. As you can see, it was Spearman coming out on top there. Panhandle over Sanford Fritch. A couple more scores. We have Stratford over Gruber. What a game there. Farwell takes down Bovina. Wellington over Clarendon. Shamrock with a good game against Memphis. And then one more for you here as we have Quanah falling to Wheeler. All right, now we're going to head out to Sanjack as they were hosting Holy Cross from Midland. We're going to pick it up scoreless in the first. Crusaders attempting to punt. Jacoby Leach going to get in the backfield to disrupt the play. Then he's going to pull him down. It's going to set the Patriots up with the short field. On the ensuing drive, Jackson McKnight going to take it up the middle. And he's just going to high step on into the end zone as Sanjack would take the lead. Then on the next Patriot possession, Kyson Swick, he's going to get the carry. Then he's going to spin forward for a nice gain. So now the same drive, but it's in the second quarter. McKnight going to get the call again. He powers his way to the end zone for another touchdown. We'll head to the scoreboard here. As you can see, it was Holy Cross falling to Sanjack. Boys Ranch over White Deer. We have Nazareth over Cress. Silverton over Spur. Then we have McLean and Headley. McLean getting the win there. And then a few more scores here as we have Miami taking down the homeschoolers. We have Booker over Claude. Now we're going to head out of state for some scores here. It is Balco Forgan over Beaver. Boise City over Canton. We have Hooker leading Cashin in the third quarter. Guyman trailing to Texhoma in the fourth. Turpin trails Oklahoma Bible while Tyrone gets a big win over Waynunka. All right, now out to the land of enchantment. Clovis trails, and so does Portales. Then Melrose with a big win as Floyd also just comes up short there against Roy. So now it's time for our Play of the Week, brought to you by Glass Doctor.
Play of the Week, presented by Glass Doctor.
All right, we go back to last night with Randall and Dumas. Demons are driving right before the half. Jevin Gallego is going to pick off the pass. It was his second turnover of the half. This one, check it out here. He's going to hit the sidelines, hits the brakes, just like in Top Gun. They drive right by. Great call there on the house call. Jevin Gallegos and the Randall Raiders for a great play. We'll wrap up the show after this timeout.
Promotional consideration provided by the following. Band of the Week, presented by ACFCU.
Welcome back to the final quarter here on the Blitz. You've just heard from the Bushland Falcon Marching Band under the direction of Alec Bennington and Emily Henson. Thanks to ACFCU, who bring us the sounds of Band of the Week each and every week. Tomorrow, it's another big day of college football. We'll have our usual triple header here, right here on ABC, starting with Alabama on the road against Missouri, and that's followed by the Red River rivalry game between Oklahoma and Texas. The nightcap has Georgia visiting Auburn. Texas Tech's back home tomorrow night as they host Kansas, while Texas A&M also with an evening game as they'll welcome Florida out in the College Station. WT is off this week as they prepare for the Wagon Wheel game next week, but Eastern New Mexico is at home against Western Oregon. Speaking of Eastern New Mexico, their volleyball teams in Canyon tomorrow. They'll play the Lady Buffs out at the box, and high school volleyball tomorrow as well. That's going to wrap up week 7 of the Blitz. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you tomorrow.